Hi, I want to get you started on your second Excel assignment, and this assignment relates to historical returns for different assets. I want you to take a look at some historical return information and generate some nice comparisons and statistics based on those. So you've got really pretty detailed directions here. Note, I've got a checklist. There's a lot going on here, so go through this, go through and make sure that you've accomplished each of these items on this checklist. That's what I'll be doing when I look at the assignment. But you should start from this really boring template that I've given you. I say boring because there's not much going on. You need to obviously fill this in, do your table of contents with hyperlinks, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 more pages you need to do. This first page has some raw data, needs to be formatted. Up here at the top, here's a hint. If you have a table of numbers and you don't tell what that table is, that's a useless table of numbers. So put a nice title up here, put a link back to the table of contents, and then calculate the mean, geometric mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. You can use any Excel format or functions or formulas that you want, but your goal is to get these statistics for these different inputs. So here we have the small company returns over time, large company returns over time, treasury bonds, treasury bills, and inflation. So that's step one. Well, then you need to do a small versus large chart. I'll show you what that's about coming up. There's detail on that Word document. Then your investment data. If you took $1, put it in small company stock at the beginning of 1928, what would it end up being worth today, 2021 or so? And then here's the summary. You just have your final numbers show up there so the users can see the last value easy. You need to make this look nice. And then a chart. I'll show you a picture of what that chart should be, but it's just plotting these dollar growth over time. Show a logarithmic scale for that. So you can just see a quick view pictorially of what would have been, what would have happened with $1 invested in each of these categories. Here's my finished document, and it actually has more than what you have to do, so I have some extra stuff going on. But the return data, get it nicely formatted. There's some solutions for you. You can check on these. Note, freeze panes. If I didn't have freeze panes, if I scrolled down, I hate that. You scroll down, you'd be down here and you're like, what is this row, column 3 here? What is that? With freeze panes going on, I can look up here and see that, hey, I'm looking at 10-year treasury bonds. See, this is inflation. I don't have to worry about that. I've also got data grouping. I can take a look at, hey, here's the beginning of the data, there's the end of my data, and that makes my life easier there. Just get that back out. So that's nicely formatted data. So the years stand out, different from the returns. Returns are percentages shown to 2 decimal places. My values that I calculated up here, nicely formatted as well. I have text wrapping here on my column headings. They look professional, reasonably professional. There's a title. Chart. All your charts should have nice titles so you can tell what the heck the chart is about. If you've just got a picture with no title and no labels here, it's useless. So this is total annual returns of small versus large company stocks since 1928. There's my years down here. The blue are my small company stocks, the red are my large company stocks. So that took the data from over here, just this annual return data, and For the small company, that's the Russell 2000, and large company, S&P 500, that's plotted here. Dollar investment data, given these returns from 1928 to whatever you have, most recent data, given that data, starting with $1, I've got $1 up there for all of them, what would each of these have grown to? Look at how high. If you'd had $1 in 1928, invested it in the Russell 2000 small company stocks, you'd have this much money. Large company stock, not as impressive as that, but still pretty impressive. Look over here at Treasury bills, barely outpacing inflation. Then one more deal here, you need to plot this data, dollar growing over time. Just do a chart of this data. And there's my chart with a logarithmic scale. And there's my asset classes and my nice little chart. Logarithmic scale, you need to know what that is. Years down here, dollars shown over there. Here's a pet peeve. Excel will default and show 1.00, 10.00, 100.00. What are those .00s adding to my life? Nothing, they're just clutter. So I need to figure out how to get rid of those. And then I've got some other stuff you don't need. But that's what you're shooting for in this assignment. Get going, holler if you have questions.